Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got some good news to share with you. The missing person that we brought to your attention at our last hour has now been found. Kinston Police Department says Christina Moore, who was last seen on November 16th in the area of North Queen Street, has been found. Police shared this morning that Moore has been located and is safe. The department wants to thank the community for its help in bringing more homes. Good news there. We also want to turn our attention to the Camping World lawsuit that was filed by the City of Greenville. Now, a voluntary dismissal of the lawsuit was filed on December 15th. Now, the city filed this lawsuit against Camping World in June, saying that the flag on their property was nearly 15 times the allowable size on a non-residential property and violated city code. In October, City Council voted 5-0 to voluntarily dismiss its lawsuit after House Bill 926 went into effect without Governor Stein's signature. The law includes a provision that prevents local governments from restricting the size of official government flags on private property. The law also requires that any pending fines or litigation be dropped once in effect. Now, Camping World owed more than $37,000 in fines before City Council voted to end the lawsuit. According to court records, the city has dropped all of its fines against the RV dealership. The suit was dismissed with prejudice, permanently ending the case. And now for some more good news. We are about a month away from the start of the Winter Olympics. NBC's Claudio Lavonga has more from Italy.
As you can see, it has been raining heavily here in Rome and in other parts of Italy, but still the Olympic flame has been burning its way across the country in the hope that in a month this rain will turn into snow. With only a month to go to the opening ceremony, the Olympic torch slowly making its way to Milan and Cortina, from Rome to the ancient ruins of Pompeii, where a familiar face joined the relay, to the mountain slopes in the middle of Italy. For many torchbearers, a moment to remember, especially for Mattia Occhinero, a local boxer who on Sunday revealed that alongside the torch he was also carrying a wedding ring. His future wife said yes to his question. But there is another question around the Olympics that remains unanswered. Will all the venues be ready on time? In Milan, workers are racing against time to finish construction of the main ice hockey arena. And even the ice rink was criticized for being slightly smaller and wider than in the NHL. The International Hockey Federation said the differences are insignificant. But in a press conference last month, the NHL's Bill Daly voiced concerns.
It's all about just making sure we have ice that is safe for our players.
Organizers promise all will be ready on time as opening day approaches. In the meantime, they revealed that Mariah Carey will be among artists performing at the opening ceremony in Milan on February 6th. No doubt all the athletes will want for the Olympics is gold. Among the athletes aiming for gold are, of course, the NHL players who will take part in the Olympics for the first time in 12 years. Also, Lindsey Vonn, who staged an amazing comeback from a 5-year retirement, and now she aims to become the oldest ever alpine skier to win an Olympic medal. And, of course, Mikaela Shiffrin, who also came back from an injury in 2024, stronger than ever, and she is now once again among the ones to beat.
Well, thank you very much, Claudio, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast. And while we are again keeping an eye on some light showers around the Outer Banks, particularly Ocracoke and Cape Hatteras, the most of eastern North Carolina right now cloudy, but not really wet. We're looking again at a fairly dry cold front rolling through later on this evening. Right now, that dry front does not have anything to do with the raindrops we're currently seeing along the Outer Banks. We zoom the picture out a little bit further, you can see that just a weak low pressure system, weak disturbance, kind of bringing in that little pocket of moisture. That's going to be moving out by the time we get to around, I would give it noon. Give it another hour, and then all of that moisture is going to be off our coast. But again, inland areas and even areas just not along the Outer Banks. Right now, looking at mostly dry conditions. Air temperatures certainly warming up already into the low to mid 60s across several spots of eastern North Carolina. We've got 60 degrees currently being reported in Swan Quarter, 63 through New Bern, Jacksonville, Kinston, and Greenville, 61 in Williamston, along with Washington and Hatteras, 62 in Elizabeth City, 65 in Beaufort. Hottest spot on the map currently Stumpy Point, showing up at 70 degrees. Again, Stumpy Point usually a little bit warmer than the surrounding areas. Manhill right now looking at around 16 degrees cooler at 54 degrees right now, closer to the Outer Banks. Now, as far as your 24-hour temperature change, everyone is warmer. And that's really the point we really want to drive home, is that air temperatures are increasing this week. Coming up later on today, I think there's certainly going to be several spots that reach into the mid, possibly upper 60s. Stumpy Point already showing up at low 70s, but the winds are going to have a big part of that. The south-southwesterly wind brings in more heat. Of course, cloud cover is also going to be a big part of today's forecast, looking at mostly cloudy skies through the entire day. There will be some times where we could see, again, some sunshine trying to break through those clouds, but overnight tonight, those clouds are going to remain thick enough to prevent our air temperatures from dropping out of the 50s. Looking at the low 50s by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, into the low 60s by 10, and then we could be talking about the low 70s in the afternoon tomorrow, thanks to the departing cloud cover, increasing sunshine, and well, just the warm start to the day. Starting the day off normal for your daytime highs this time of year. Before we get to this, normal for your daytime highs is right around the upper 50s, mid to upper 50s this time of year. So the fact that we are seeing air temperatures start tomorrow in the low 50s means that we are going to blow right on by our daytime high because nothing's really going to be standing in its way. Now, as far as raindrops go, again, models continue to try to bring in some light showers later on today. I'm not seeing it and not putting it into our forecast. Again, the rain we've seen so far today along the Outer Banks is currently exiting, and the cold front that moves in later on tonight into really tomorrow morning, it will bring cloud cover to the east, but it's not really going to do anything else. We will see a bit of a wind shift, and that will lead to a slight cool down, but we'll still end up warmer than average coming up for your Wednesday. Let's take a look at your full 8-day forecast, and you can kind of see what I mean here. Oh, there we go. 10% chance of rain today. 70 degrees coming up for tomorrow. A little bit of a cool down from Wednesday into Thursday. But even still, mostly sunny skies and 66 degrees. I don't think most people are going to be complaining about Thursday's forecast. Now, Friday, we introduced more cloud cover and a slim chance of a few drops back to the forecast. Saturday, though, is looking like the wettest day of the week. Not saying much, but 30% chance of rain on Saturday. It does look like everyone will at least have an opportunity to pick up maybe a few drops, but certainly not enough rain that it's going to solve our abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions across 90% of eastern North Carolina. Air temperatures drop over the weekend. 75 on Saturday, turns to 64 on Sunday, 49 on Monday, but it will come with increasing sunshine. We'll see more of the sun on Sunday and certainly by Monday and Tuesday of next week, but it will come with a bit of a cool down. That's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.